Founded in 1964, Fremont Bank understands the difference 60 years can make. It's the difference between serving a family business and being dedicated to a family business as a family business. The difference between looking at spreadsheets and looking at possibilities. The difference between deposits that go into a vault and deposits that go back into your community. So what difference does 60 years make? All the difference in the world. Fremont Bank. Here for you. Here for good.
You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fail to the level of your systems. That's a quote from James Clear. When I read that quote a few weeks ago, it hit me like a rebuke and a release. Because for the longest times, I had goals. I was either, sometimes I feel like I'm forced to create goals. I'm obligated, convicted to create goals. I had ambition. I know I have skill, hunger, but I didn't realize my systems were broken, right? And worse, I didn't know what was my system because for a long time, I wasn't in one that fit me. Look, there was a season when I was hitting every wall, not because I wasn't capable, but it was because I was trying to fit into an operating system that wasn't built for me. When I started and a lot of times this happens to a lot of folks, and you can't do a lot about it because it's when you start your career. When I started my career, I was in that place. But guess what? I stayed there too long. And by the time I got 15 years in, I still realizing, man, is it that I need more discipline? I'm downloading every planner. I'm trying hacks. I'm reading all the books. Still feel like I'm failing. It took me a minute to realize I wasn't dysfunctional. I was misfitted. And it was my responsibility to do something about that fit, right? And you got to know what shape you are before you can know what can fit you, right? Can't be a square peg in a round hole. For me, I was trying to run a high-powered, creative, intuitive, highly empathetic system, and I was in rigid corporate structures that rewarded predictability over possibility, right? And there's nothing wrong with those structures. It's just that that's not a great fit for me. So I had to start to figure it out, right? Let me put it this way. You cannot install a Mac OS app on Windows and then get mad when the app crashes. But that's what we do with people all the time. We see somebody struggling and we assume they're broken when the system is just incompatible sometimes. Let me take it back to wrestling since this will be the third episode in a row that I take it to wrestling. But y'all know I got to stick to what I love, right? And again, that's really part of the undergirding of what I'm talking about. The more you stick with what you love, the more you stick with what you've been through, the more you stick with what makes you rare, you'll succeed. Right? If I take it back to wrestling terms, me staying in those places would be like taking Jeff Hardy and forcing him to wrestle like Bret Hart for the rest of his career. You're going to strip the daredevil of his creativity. You're going to put him in a headlock heavy match plan, right? I want you to do headlocks. I want you to do sunset flips. I want you to do roll-ups. I want you to do ankle locks. And then I want you to end with the sharpshooter. That's not what Jeff Hardy should be doing. Jeff Hardy should be doing triple somersaults and moonsaults and jumping off of ladders and out of everywhere, out of the stands, right? You strip the daredevil of his creativity. And then when you do that, let's say you do put Jeff Hardy, or Jeff Hardy allows himself to be booked like Bret Hart. He can't look at himself as reckless if he steps out and tries to fly, right? Because it's his nature. He's trying to do what he's going to be great at, what's going to lead him to greatness. But greatness is not going to be in that booking, and it may not be in that wrestling org. Might not be in that territory for my old school folks. It's not a behavior problem. It's a design conflict. The realization is you are the system. Look, this is where the whole mindset shift happened for me. You're not just the talent. You're the infrastructure. You're the system. That means it's not about forcing yourself to match a routine built for somebody else's shape, but it is about designing your rhythm, your environment, and your structure to protect and activate your rare. Some people need silence. Others need momentum. Some folks do deep work at 5 a.m. Others hit that flow at midnight. None of that makes you broken, just makes you honest and self-aware. Right? One of the last things I started to realize once I got to the right space, I got to the great company who understood me, who gave me opportunity to lean into my shape. But then it became, do I just wake up 9 to 5 and do this in this very predictable way? Right? Do I just every moment try to do everything I can, throw it all against the wall? Is that working for me? Right? What I would do is I wake up, I look at Slack, I start working a little bit, then I check back out, finish getting dressed, get my kids to school. Then I would come back and just drive myself crazy, thinking about all the things. This is the thing. It's like looking at a million things, and I would probably do about 10 of them by the end of the day and find some point to just back out and start all over again the next day. Now, see, the problem with that is mentally, I never felt like I was done, right? I never felt like I had made a day's worth of progress. And eventually that catches up to you because you don't feel like you're bringing value. You don't feel like you're accomplishing and you're doing the thing. You don't feel good at your job. And when you don't feel like you've been accomplished and doing the thing, it holds you back from trying to achieve more. Promotions, looking to add to your shape, ambitious moves. You don't do that because you feel like, well, I'm still trying to prove the thing. What I had to realize, number one, I started to get information like my therapist telling me, you got adult ADHD, bro. Yo, game changer. So now I get a little bit more awareness about what my shape is. And now I get to build the system that works with that infrastructure. So a person with ADHD should not wake up and just look at a million things. No, a person with ADHD needs one specific thing at a time to look at. So how do you do that? Right? I can't tell my company, hey, only give me one responsibility at a time. That doesn't work. But what I can do is take control. If you look at my calendar right now, almost all of it is blocked out. All of it, right? This hour, I'm going to work on this. For this half an hour, I'm going to work on that. For this thing, I'm going to work on this. So now I am getting one thing at a time. And the biggest thing, if I don't, let's say I get distracted and I'm going to do this hour and I get distracted, I don't do it. The biggest game changer is me realizing, okay, I need to take the L here. I need to accept the loss. Because again, one of the traits of ADHD as it affects me is if I don't do the thing that I said I would do, then it stacks on top of the next hour, right? Where I said I was going to do a second thing. So now I have two things on my mind. And there is cognitive load that I'm carrying over to that next task, right? And I'm not 100% locked in. So what I've discovered is the best way to combat that is if I get distracted on that first task, I got to chalk it. That's a loss. That's a loss. I failed. I missed it. But guess what? I can then take that block and move it somewhere else. Maybe it's for this afternoon. Maybe it's for tomorrow. Maybe it's for Wednesday. I move it to a realistic place where I can get back to it again and I'm back on 100% task. That's transparency. That's self-awareness. That is understanding how your system works and locking in. That's building the way that works for you. So here's my question for you. What systems are you running on right now that were not built for you? And where are you still trying to fix yourself instead of redesigning your workflow, your rest, and your expectations? Guess what happened to me when I started implementing this stuff? When the end of my day comes, I know it's the end of my day. I can feel accomplished because I locked in, focused 100% on those things, did them, and now I know I did the things. And not only can I end my day and go spend time with my family at the end of 3 months, 6 months, I know I accomplished some things. I feel like I'm growing, I'm moving, I'm doing a good job, and I can start focusing on career growth. Maybe I want to go to another level. Maybe I want to explore something else. You don't need more hustle. You need better harmony, better alignment, really a better interface between your design, your unique design, and your demands. We always say, man, the demands are not changing. The work is not going anywhere. The demands are not changing. But guess what? Your rare design is not changing either. So it's up to you to start building a better interface between the two. Look, you're not a bad worker. You're just using a borrowed system. You're on somebody else's system and you try to install your software. It's not working. Stop it. Stop trying to be a robot in a world that doesn't need a robot. It needs your rhythm. They got enough robots. AI is taking over the world. AI is very good at being a robot. Let it be the expert. You be a human. You're not lazy. You're wired different. And that difference is your blueprint. All right? Now, if this hits you and you're ready for the next layer, I think you are ready for the next layer, because this is where Be Rare on Purpose begins. We're done reacting. We're done shape-shifting. We're building systems from the inside out. So next up, we're going to go deeper into talking about when rare doesn't fit in the room, fighting to be seen before you're understood, all of these things. What does it look like? Again, I give a workshop on this. I was in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I gave this workshop as a 60-minute format, in a 60-minute format for Zapier, my employer. And you know what? I think I'm ready to take this on the road. So if your org or your group or your church or your leadership cohort, if you want me to come deliver this 60-minute workshop about finding your rareness, hit me up. Email me at jfloyd1@gmail.com or DM me on LinkedIn. You'll find me at IamJFloyd, or go to my website, IamJFloyd.com. Sign up there. Reach out to me. Let's talk. See what you need, and we can put it together. All right. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Like, subscribe, send this to everybody you know that you think can benefit from this, or just send it to everybody you know. You never know who could benefit from it. Talk to y'all later. Peace.